Hi, I'm James, and welcome to another online lesson from DevPeeps. Hello, this is Brainhold for DevPeeps, and today I just wanted to go over running basic admin commands on Do Not Starve Together. Alright, let's go ahead and log into our dedicated server world. Mine is called Brainhold's World because I'm creative like that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put in my password. And now you can see here that I am currently in game. Now I'm going to go ahead, and how I get the admin console up is I press the tilde button, and then to execute remote commands you're going to use the left control key. And when you do that, you're going to see this word remote show up on the left hand side. From here I have a few basic commands that I can execute. Probably the most common is cgive, and then in parentheses we're going to put what we want. So we're going to say I want some rocks, and you'll see here my rocks are now 2 instead of 1. If I want to get 18 additional rocks, I can use cgive rocks, 20, and well, now I have 22 rocks. If you're sitting here playing with another player and you want to give that player something, you have two choices. You can use spawn if you want to give one item, and wherever you have your mouse, that's where that item is going to spawn. So if I click right here, if I click right here, that's going to go ahead and spawn a rock right here. Well, it should. Let's just do it one more time. There. Now I've got 1 rock. Now if I want 20 rocks, I can say C spawn rocks 20, and it's going to spawn 20 rocks. Now that's really annoying because I have to pick up these 20 rocks one at a time. So instead of doing that, it makes more sense to just give yourself 20 rocks and then give those rocks to that player. Alright, so how do I give myself something that's actually useful? Well, in the winter a lot of people freeze or get cold. So here I can say give myself a winter hat. And I have a nice winter hat. And I can go ahead and give myself a winter coat, which is called a trunk vest winter. I realize that looks strange, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And now I have a winter hat and coat. Now understand that these commands are meant for just testing to check things out. You really shouldn't use these commands to alter the balance of the game. Alright, so now and it's dark. I don't have a lantern on purpose, and I'm going to die probably right here in the middle of the area. And I'm dead. And now I'm a ghost. That's awesome. Alright, so now it's daytime, and I'm really far from the portal, and I don't want to come find my stuff again. What can I do? Well, I can say C God mode, and it will respawn me on the spot. And then I can just pick up my stuff. As you can see, that's much more convenient than having to respawn and find your body again. Alright, so now that I know how to execute these commands, how do I figure out what the names are for all of these items that I want to make? Let's take a look. If we look on the local console for the server that's running, you can see here in the log where I signed in it shows my user ID, my session, where I'm coming in at, and then you can see here where I spawned one rock and the command that I executed to give that rock and the location that I was at when that command ran. Following the rest of the sequence, you can see the 20 rocks, the spawn 1 rock, the spawn 20 rocks, where I gave myself the winter hat and the trunk vest winter coat. Here's where I died, and then I was resurrected. So you can see all of these commands happening in the log while they're being executed. But how do I know where these commands are? How do I know that it's winter hat, and how did I know that the coat is called the trunk vest underscore winter? Well, on the server, in the install directory, under data, you have a prefabs.xml. In this prefabs, there are items. They're not just items. They can be structures, buildings. For example, you can spawn an icebox. There are items in here that you really shouldn't be spawning in, might not even work. For example, a portal. But let's say I want to find things that are about winter. I can just search in here for winter. And eventually I found a trunk vest winter blueprint. Not quite sure what those are yet. I think the blueprints are where you learn how to do something. I'm going to say next again, and eventually I'm going to run into a hat winter. Here we go. So we have a prefab name as a winter hat, and there's the earmuffs, called an earmuffs hat. And if I go down just so there's all the hats, you can see they're all together. There's a heating rock, there's healing salve, there's all of stuff in here that you can use. So I'm going to say find next again. And then here's your trunks. So you have a trunk summer and a trunk winter. So these are just some simple ways that you can figure out what the backend names are called for the items that you want to spawn. Now here's an interesting example of something you can find in the prefabs XML, and it's not necessarily something that you would spawn, although you can spawn a meat rack. But if you look at the dependency tag on the meat rack, these are actually all of the things that you can put on the meat rack. So in a way, the XML file acts like a documentation tree for the game. This concludes our video on how to run admin commands remotely on a dedicated Do Not Starve Together server. We hope you enjoyed our lesson today. Come back and join us again next time. Add your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to be notified of new lessons in the future.